This week, as we sat down to talk about the album of the week, we had an opportunity to hear from Matt about his recent trip to Elmhurst University for the 57th edition of the Elmhurst University Jazz Festival. Over the years, the festival has hosted some of the most iconic names in jazz. This year, it just happened to host Marie Schneider, who has become one of our most favorite recording artists in the genre. Listen as Matt shares with us his experience at the festival and with getting to meet Marie Schneider after the performance on his trip there Saturday night.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Did you
Okay.
change mics or are you just
Yeah.
sitting
No.
closer?
No. Nope. This is this. I'll talk about the mic here in a minute. This is I picked this up from Jason this
Okay.
morning. It's one of those Shure mics.
58,
It is a 58. The SM58.
SM58.
Yeah.
That's a solid mic right there, baby. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I did. Delaney lent me a mic as well. She had a microphone that I was going to try. This is the SE 2200 from SE Electronics. So maybe depending on how I sound this week, well, I told Spooler I'd only borrow this for a couple of weeks until if I sound better, of course I'll get my own. I'm going to thank him anyways when we record this episode.
I think
For
you
sure.
can pick up a new one for $100 over at Sweetwater. Sweetwater Music right there in your neighborhood. Go by and
Oh,
see them.
oh, is Sweetwater here?
Sweetwater's right there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Oh, yeah, here, check it out. My Sweetwater sweatshirt's on.
Hey, check it out.
Oh, no way. Look at you go, baby.
You see what it says?
Elmhurst Jazz Festival.
Yeah,
Oh,
baby.
boy. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
baby. Uh-huh. Okay, so when you listen to her music, right? It doesn't in my mind okay, even when you just hear the name, even when you just hear the name the Maria Schneider Orchestra, you get this sense in your mind that it's going to be an orchestral setting and this that and the other and I didn't know how to picture it in my mind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's jazz. So I should have just pictured a big band jazz. Holy crap. Okay. So she set up just like a normal jazz big band. Horns and trumpets in the back, trombones in the middle, saxes in the front, drums on the left, bass on the left, accordion and piano on the left. Oh my God. I, sh- mm, and then to hear the stories, I just so wish, and they said no recording, and so I obliged to that. Sometimes I'll turn my phone on and hit, record and let it sit there. But just to hear the stories that she told and talked about, and then to meet her, I was starstruck. Okay, thankfully I was second in line for autographs because the line stretched from the stage to the back of the church, the chapel that we were in. And I mean, thankfully I was second because it was late. It was already late for me, but I was starstruck. In my mind, you know how it goes in your mind. You think, oh man, if I ever see that person, I'm going to do this and I'm going to ask him that and this, that, and the other. I forgot. I forgot everything I wanted to say. I was like, I had to make sure I wasn't drooling all over myself just to meet her.
Man.
I was starstruck. And the funny thing is like I had my magazine and I knew that that's where I wanted my signature. But anyways, I handed her my magazine and she looked at the picture and she's like, "Man, that's an old picture." And I said, "Well, it's the one in my magazine." And she's like, "What magazine is that?"
Oh, no way.
And I told her, I'm like,
No
this
way.
is the Jazz Wise magazine, the top 100 albums that shook the world. And I said, I got to tell you, we just covered you 9 weeks ago, and if I'm so glad that you were in the list, and because I
Yeah.
would not have found out about you otherwise, and now you've got a brand new fan, and and I just don't know what to say. And I wanted to ask her about her
Oh,
influences and about
man.
writing for Sting, and if she could play with anyone or conduct anyone, who would it be? And I was just starstruck. She
Yeah.
did sign. She did sign my magazine. She was very nice. She really was. Um, but oh, man, what an amazing it. I'll tell you that watching the college bands was cool.
Where? Tell me again, because we've hit record. Where was College Band? Where was the fest? Where'd you
Okay,
see her at?
the
Give me some
the
input, baby.
I will. The festival was the 57th annual Elmhurst University Jazz Festival. 57th annual. This has been going on longer than I've been alive. And it always starts on Thursday of this weekend and goes through Sunday, and it's at the Hammerschmidt Memorial Chapel on the Elmhurst University campus. Now, some of the other headliners that have played this festival, um, Dizzy Gillespie, Clark Terry, uh, Wayne Bergeron, and I've met Wayne too, and he's a cool
Yeah.
dude.
Oh
Played
yeah.
with played with Maynard. Um, the Count Basie Orchestra, obviously, it was a headliner on the Friday night. I saw Maria on Saturday. But I mean, this is a big deal in the community and at the college and professionals alike. One of the guys that really impressed me the most was Marshall Gilkes or Gilks, trombone player for the Vanguard Jazz Band, Vanguard Big Band Jazz. Um, watching the college students perform watching the college students perform was really cool. And in my ear I'm thinking, okay, it's collegiate level, so they ought to be a little better than a high school band, and oh, they all were. But then the judges get up and critique them, and that was fun for me too, listening to them critique. In my ear, I'm thinking, okay, well, no, that sounds really good, and the horns section sounds really good, and then they pick out these little minor things that really improve the band, and you're like, man, that's what I'm missing when I listen, to my because we listen to pros, all right. Let's face it, we're listening to professional musicians play all the time, and these college students get up and so the uh the 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 bands that I listened to were Central State University, which was really cool. The Purdue University combo, man. Let me just introduce this too, that there are no musical performance degrees at Purdue University.
Wow.
Musical
Wow.
performance. Musical performance. Now, Delaney's got her degree from Purdue in production and recording, but not performance. So all of these students have a major that they're majoring in, and it's funny because um, uh, Gilkey's asked them, so there's no musical degree at Purdue. What are your degrees? And you get electrical engineer, you get mechanical engineering. The trumpet player was a pre dental major, so he's studying to be a dentist. Um, and his jaw just kind of hit the ground and said, you guys are doing this for fun, and you could be out on the road, making money doing this. So I applaud you for that. So that was cool. The combo was awesome. And I'll tell you, it's fun on the journey that we're on because um, the combo, they played Strap Hangin' from the Brecker Brothers, and I knew that song, and so I knew what it was supposed to sound like, and I knew what kind of the solos are supposed to be, and this, that, and the other. And man, I'm telling you what, those kids knocked it out of the park, dude. They knocked it out of the park. Anyways, enough about the combo. Then the Purdue big band got up and they played phenomenal, right? I mean, they're they just blew me away. I stuck around for the Illinois Wesleyan University combo. Illinois Wesleyan, I think that there may have been eight or nine students in that small combo, and they were
Wow.
okay. They were okay, but then Temple University big band got up.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got up. So they could be WDR or
Those are big shoes, baby.
Silly Wallard big band. That's how impressed I was, and thankfully I didn't stick around for the judges to critique. I was hungry and I just needed to get up and walk around for a while. But then the break happened, so I went out for dinner and this, that, and the other, and came back and I got to hear the Elmhurst Jazz band, big band play before Maria. And of course, the judges aren't going to critique them in front of a very large audience. I mean, there had been 1,000 people. How much? Well, yeah, there was probably 1,000 people there because the church was pretty full. The chapel was pretty full.
Wow.
So Elmhurst Jazz, I did take some notes about their playlist or whatever, but and then Maria Schneider got up and dude, I'm telling you what, I looked around. I think I was the only one smiling the whole time. I was smiling the whole time. I just couldn't help myself. It's hard to describe her sound, and we're gonna gush on her on the week that we talk about her. I know we will, but it's amazing that yeah, it's just she is amazing. She's just simply amazing. Um, and it was okay. But anyways, I had jazz on my ears the whole way to Chicago. I had jazz in my ears all day, and then I put on a shuffle playlist on the way home because I kind of needed just a little break. So it was nice. I mean, yes, I got some jazz on that shuffle list, but when you hear Sammy Hagar come on, and then you hear jazz, and then you hear who else uh, on my playlist. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice. So I was kind of overwhelmed with jazz on Saturday, and I
Well,
love
do you
every
do you ever feel that way leaving Three Rivers Big Band or any of the other local stuff that you pick up? I know that most of that's hour and a half. It's a quick fix. Do you ever get in the car and head home and go, I can do without jazz right now? Or was this the fact that it was like 8 hours of face blasting big band
yes.
sound?
That's mainly what it was. It was just the sheer amount of jazz that I heard that day, culminating with with Maria Schneider, and not that I'm sorry that I did the collegiate bands, but I
No.
think if I had to do it again, I probably would skip that and just go for Maria Schneider. Um,
I felt that way after leaving DCI this past summer. You're
Mhm.
there for 12 bands here in Round Rock, and I was done. I
Yeah.
I could have done without music that night, but so I can understand that.
Yeah.
And what was that drive like for Elmhurst? Was that 4 hours, 5 hours?
It was 3 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, Elmhurst is literally right off of 294 in Chicago for me. And we can be in Chicago in 3:30 in 3.5 hours. So I mean, it's not a bad drive. It's not a bad drive at all. But Chicago's an hour earlier than we are. So the concert got over at 10:30, which is 11:30 my
Oh,
brain
that's
time.
right.
And so, yeah, it was close to 3 in the morning before I got home, but it was well worth it. I would do it again.
Well, I it was funny because you'd been texting up to that moment, and I thought, I'd probably hear something from you on the way. So my phone was charged right next to the bed. I was expecting that. Oh my God, it's a late night. I just need to call somebody, and I kept thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? He's a grown ass man. He can get up and deal with this. So
I seriously, I considered. I got on 294 and I looked at the clock and I'm like, well, it's really only 10:45 his time. I could call. It's kind of late. I don't know. Should I do it? Should I not? Goodbye. And the smile on my face, dude. You could have heard me just smiling. You know, driving home.
oh
I
yeah.
seriously considered it, and then uh, my son called 45 minutes later just to say hi. He was here letting the dog out, and then Kendra called even later because she was scrapbooking that weekend. She was up, but
Yeah.
I wanted to. I didn't want to rub it in. That was my main thing.
I would have busted your chops for rubbing it in, but I would have thoroughly enjoyed that conversation because I was curious. How
Yeah.
was it? So,
And when Kendra got home on Sunday, I was telling her about the experience, and I kind of kicked myself in the butt. I should have bought you a virtual ticket. You could have watched the concert virtual.
oh, Yeah, I thought about looking for one of those after the fact.
Yeah.
Same thing I was looking for with the Marsalis brothers.
Yes.
I kept trying to find if there was a virtual ticket to buy. I wasn't
Mhm.
going to drop no $500 to hear them, but a lot of those places will drop a virtual ticket. Join us,
Right.
an hour after the concert or what. But I still
Yeah.
haven't found one. So if we find one, I will. But
Right.
yeah, I bet Maria Schneider's was stinking awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
and I want to say this: we didn't. I hit record as we were getting into that, so this was just a short clip. Y'all, welcome to the Jazz Unconnoisseurs. If you can't tell by now, the excitement that Matt has got with him is because of a Maria Schneider concert that took place in Elmhurst, Illinois, at the private University of Elmhurst. And obviously, by now, you figured out that there was a whole lot of jazz at this festival. We won't get to Maria Schneider for a few months. It'll be
yeah.
down on number 63, so it's spoilers. But now you know. Jazz
Yeah,
has
let me
become.
tell you this. Let me tell you this. If she was number 100 on the list and I've gotten to listen to her since we started our journey, I would not be sad about it. So
No,
you can give that
no.
nugget away and let them start
Yeah.
listening to Maria Schneider now.
Well,
Yes.
and I think that's the thing. Number 63 is going to be Concert in the Garden. And I ended up, well, we both did, Concert in the Garden, and then you have to download, you have to go buy them from crowdsourced funding, but then go listen to Data Lords.
Mm.
Both of those albums just have blown me away. So, spoiler alert, number 63 ahead, Maria Schneider, and she had just performed Elmhurst University in Chicago. There you go, Matt. I'm going to go full screen so you can do that again. Elmhurst University Jazz Festival. And that was Maria Schneider. So tune in. It's going to be a while before we get there. We're recording today and talking today about uh, next on our list. So 63 is still 30 weeks away. Don't let it ruin your appetite for that day. And if it does, go ahead and suck it up because those albums are well worth getting into today. So, uh, with that, Matt, I'm going to hit stop on this recording and we'll get on to, I see the screen behind you. We're going to
Yeah,
be
man.
talking about Mr. Porter. So, for now, see you guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.